just leave with your name. You took the fire, you took the flame. You left me hollowed from within, with questions bleeding through my skin. You promised more than you could give, then showed me how betrayal lives. And now I'm stuck with what remains, a soul that echoes through the strain. I didn't ask for much to stay, just truth you slowly gave away. You took the part of me that cared, the trust I offered unprepared. And now I'm learning how it feels to heal from wounds that never heal. You played your part with so much grace, while building lies I couldn't trace. The stories changed, your eyes grew dim, each version whispered war so thin. And I believed until I broke each promise you had wrapped in smoke. Now every breath is stained with doubt of what love is and what it's about. You didn't flinch, you let me fall, and vanished when I'd lost it all. You took the part of me that hoped and left me gasping just to cope. What once was light now turns to rust, because you shattered all my trust. You never looked back when you ran, while I stood frozen where we began. And though I try to breathe again, I'm haunted by what should have been. You never looked back when you ran, while I stood frozen where we began. And though I try to breathe again, I'm haunted by what should have been. You sat beside me on the grass, your eyes alive with summer skies. I laughed along, I played the part, but hid the fire behind my lies. You asked about the stars that night, and I just stared at your bare feet. So many words I never spoke, so much of me you'd never meet. You left before I found the breath to speak the truth I kept beneath. What I meant to say was stay, but I smiled and walked away. What I meant to say was please, but I froze with shaky knees. You moved on, you never guessed what I meant to say I suppressed. The wind was soft, your laugh was light. The moment begged for something real, but all I gave were empty jokes, too scared to tell you how I feel. Now every time I hear your name, it hits like thunder through my chest. The past won't change, the words are gone, still beating where they found no rest. to say. I whisper it beneath my breath to shadows shaped by your silhouette. If time rewound, I'd break the chain and never let you walk away. Away. You smiled the night before you left, a quiet calm before the theft. You tucked your lies beneath your grin and fooled me one last time again. I never thought you'd go so far to build a wound and make it scar. But now I see it was your goal to break apart what once was whole. Your time, you took control and left me paying for your role. This wasn't chance, this wasn't fate. You dug the hole, you set the weight. This wasn't clumsy, sad, or bland. It was the kind of hurt you planned. You told me you were just confused while plotting how I'd be misused. You kissed me soft then walked away to share your truth with someone's day. I see it now, the cold precision, each move a careful, cruel decision. You didn't fall, you didn't slip, you stabbed me with the perfect grip. You didn't falter, didn't cry, you chose your path and let me die. You drew the lines, you made it stand. It was the kind of hurt you planned. You played me like a practiced hand, then left me where you knew I'd land. I thought you loved, but you deceived, and I was foolish to believe. This wasn't chance, this wasn't fate. You dug the hole, you set the weight. This wasn't clumsy, sad, or hum a line, I'd catch the key, but never finished what could be. We talked of writing down the tune, but always stopped a beat too soon. Now silence takes what love delayed, the songs we never played. Each note we missed still echoes on inside the heart where you belong. The songs we never played are louder now each day. They haunt me where I stayed. The songs we never played. Lines I meant to sing, but fear erased them in the spring. You smiled like you knew them too, but never asked what I'd been through. Time was cruel or we were shy, we let the chorus pass us by. The silence grew while music frayed those songs we never played. The sound of you still fills the air, though now it's quiet everywhere. The songs we never dared still echo, still are shared. A love that went unmade. The songs we never played. In some forgotten softer key, our voices might have found their plea, but time was shy and we obeyed the songs we never played. Some forgotten softer key, our voices might have found their plea, but time was shy and we obeyed the songs we never played. To hold me like I mattered before your silence left me shattered. A shift too subtle to explain, but still it burned like pouring rain. I caught your stare drift far away to someone else you wouldn't say, and all the warmth began to fade as promises were left unpaid. I felt you changing by degrees, but kept on begging on my knees. The moment you changed, I broke inside, while you just watched my trust subside. You moved away without a word and left me echoing unheard. Excuses soft and sweet, but none could hide your quick retreat. I traced the patterns in your tone and found the lies you'd sown and grown. You wore a mask you didn't need, but I still saw the love recede. Now every truth is wrapped in ache, and every vow begins to break. You left before you told me so, and acted like I'd never know. The moment you changed, the sky turned dim. The space between us stretched and thin. I tried to reach what slipped too fast, but found you buried in your past. There's nothing left that I can mend. You chose her story in the end. I stood where you once used to be, but you walked out invisibly. You enough been left that I can mend. You chose her story in the end. I stood where you once used to be, but you walked out invisibly. Nothing slipped away, but shadows clung to things you'd say. I tried to meet your gaze each night, but something there just wasn't right. You laughed like love had never changed, while silence left the air estranged. I kissed you hoping you'd return, but deep inside I felt the burn. You wore a calm I couldn't read, while giving someone else your need. You hid behind a practice smile and let me wait a broken while. Now every grin feels sharp and wild. A quiet lie dressed up as mild. You stayed but never truly close. Your touch was warm but not engrossed. I begged for truth, you gave me doubt, then left me wondering throughout. The love I thought would hold me tight became the thing that fed the fight. You never screamed or ran away. You lied with ease and chose to stay. You stayed to keep your comfort near, but fed another what was dear. You hid behind a gentle tone, while leaving me to stand alone. The trust we built you overthrew, and smiled like it was always true. I see it now, too late to fix the quiet ways you played your tricks. A mask can only last so long, and yours collapsed once you were gone. I still remember how you smiled, that morning sky so soft and pale. We shared a walk just side by side, but I was riding wind and sail. You talked of books and weekend plans. I nodded, lost inside a dream where I could touch your hand, but woke to silence, split it seems. It felt like something near divine, but I kept love behind the line. That morning in September air, you were close but unaware. I almost told you everything, but let it fade like passing spring. You'll never know how deep it cut to choose the hush, not the touch. We stopped beside the willow tree. The wind was soft, your hair aflame. I saw forever in that frame, but stayed behind my steady name. I wonder now if you could tell, if you had felt that quiet sway. But minutes passed and hearts stood still, and then you simply walked away. One breath away, I let it slide, and let the truth stay locked inside. That morning in September haze still lives within these quiet days. A chance I missed, a voice I stilled, a story I have never filled. You were the spark I let grow dim, a hymn I never let begin. I trace your face in skies I see, where whispers hum and leave me be. That morning lives though you're not near, a fading light I hold too dear. The picture frame still holds our smiles, but we've been gone for endless miles. I talk like we're still side by side, though I've run out of truth to hide. The mirror shows me all I lost, a love that couldn't pay the cost. We held on tight, then let it go. A quiet burn too slow to show. We faded like a song's last chord. with whispers I can't let subside. Your voice returns in every song, reminding me where we went wrong. The laughter we once kept so near now echoes through a distant year. We said forever, swore we'd stay, but sometimes hearts just drift away. I tried to hold what couldn't stay. Now silence sings the words you say. We used to be light in the dark. Now I just trace your missing spark. You walk in dreams I can't escape. A love left in its final shape. I breathe you in, then let you go. A silent ache I'll always know. You're not just gone, you're still right here. In every song, in every tear. We used to be, but now I see we're just a ghosted memory. Don't echo back my voice, they only hum my lack of choice. I live in shadows by design, where thoughts of me don't have to shine. I blend into forgotten days, a memory lost in the haze. They never noticed when I slipped, just moved along, their moments zipped. I carved out space inside their world, then watched it close, the silence curled. I live where I don't exist, erased from every list. They talk like I'm not there because they're unaware. I try to hold a tethered thought, but all the ties I had are rot. They left so kindly, unaware that kindness stung more than despair. I act like I prefer the dark, I just miss the spark. A touch, a glance, a voice to hear. Instead I float through silent fear. You can't reclaim what's never known, and hearts don't warm when they're alone. I live where I'm unseen, not angry, just between. No sorrow, just dismissed, a breath that won't be missed. You learn to fade, to drift apart, when no one speaks your name or heart. And in the stillness you exist, but barely feel you still persist. I thought we had a sacred space where nothing real would be erased, but you held back the parts of you that craved a different point of view. I waited for your heart to speak, but found it whispered once a week. And when you finally turned your head, it wasn't me you chose instead. You gave away the parts I sought and left me lost in tangled thought. The truth you shared with someone new was all I hoped you'd give me too. You let me drown in something fake, while they receive what you forsake. I tried to catch your shifting tone, but you had left me all alone. You smiled through half confessions bare, but gave the rest to someone there. You built a love without my name, then blamed me for the dying flame. I played my part, I kept my vow, while you were breaking them somehow. You kept me close but out of reach, and left me chasing your deceit. The truth you shared with someone new was all I hoped you'd give me too. You let me drown in something fake, while they receive what you forsake. I tried to catch your shifting tone, but you had left me all alone. Used never mind to hold of you. You let me beg for something whole, while feeding lies to soothe your soul. I don't need closure from your voice, just distance from your selfish choice. You gave them what you claimed was mine, and called that love, but love won't lie. I don't need closure from your voice, just distance from your selfish choice. You gave them what you claimed was mine, and called that love, but love won't lie. You used to whisper when I cried. You held my hand, you stayed beside. But lately all I get is cold, a love that's cracked and growing old. I call, you answer with a nod, like feelings faded. Like a fraud, you speak to me like I'm a ghost, the one you loved but lost the most. I watched you vanish day by day, while standing close yet far away. You used to know my name by heart, now all I see is us apart. You say the words but lack the flame you used to know, but you're not the same. talk about the little things, avoiding truth that heartbreak brings. You laugh at shows but never smile, not like you did, not for a while. I kiss you soft but you pull back, like holding on might make it crack. I see the ending in your face, but still I cling to love's last trace. The way you breathe, the way you blink, it's not the same, it makes me think. You used to call me just to hear my voice when life would draw too near. Now I just echo in your frame. You used to know my name. We fade not with the final blow, but through the things we never show. I used to matter, now I drift, a memory you chose to share. I built these walls without a plan. They rose as fast as trust began. Each glance that missed, each word unsaid, turned warmth to fear inside my head. I laugh when no one's in the room, pretend the silence doesn't bloom. But deep beneath this calm facade is isolation I applaud. I learned to guard what no one sees, to shiver while the world's at ease. These walls I never chose now trap the heart that froze. I'm locked inside my skin, too scared to let life in. I crave a voice to break the spell, a stranger who could somehow tell. But even if they tried to stay, I'd send their kindness far away. I don't know why I push and run, why comfort feels like setting sun. drawer. Each one I wrote but never mailed. They told the truth I couldn't say, when fear and timing always failed. I'd pass you by and smile real small. You'd laugh with someone else instead. All I did was watch you shine, while my heart whispered what I never said. You never knew how close I came to writing down your name. These are the words I never sent, the truths I sealed, the love unspent. I lived behind a quiet screen where every thought stayed in between. You walked away without a clue, but every song still sings of you. Beneath the sun, I never fit into your skies. I held my breath each time you spoke, and let my hope become disguise. I almost called you late one night. The phone lit up, then turned to black. One heartbeat more, I might have leapt, but silence pulled the moment back. You smiled at me, but couldn't see the storm inside of me. These are the words I never sent, a love too fragile to present. I kept it hidden, wrapped in rhyme, then buried it in borrowed time. You lived a life I never knew, but every song still aches for you. Now all that's left is ink and air, and letters folded soft with care. A quiet love I won't forget, the one I never dared to get. These are the words I never sent, a love too fragile to present. I kept it hidden, wrapped in rhyme, then buried it in borrowed time. You lived a life I never knew, but every song still sings for you. Now all that's left is ink and air, and letters folded soft with care. A quiet love I won't forget, the one I never dared to get. I never asked if you were free, if someone else had claimed your hand. I never asked what made you smile, or what you dreamed, or where you stand. You talked and I just nodded slow, too scared to chase the thought away. You were a song I didn't know, a note I feared I'd never play. You stood so close but felt so far, a distant wish behind a star. These are the things I never asked, the questions trapped behind my mask. I let the silence be my wall, and watched you fade without a call. Now you're a story undefined, the one I loved but left behind. I wrote you letters in my mind, each word more honest than the last. But when you spoke, I froze again, a moment never meant to last. I wondered how your fingers felt if laughter echoed in your chest. But I just smiled and looked away and buried all the rest. 1,000 things I meant to say just packed their bags and slipped away. These are the things I never knew, the truths I hid instead of you. I chose to lose, afraid to win, and kept the door from opening in. Now I just live with who I was, the one who never dared because. I wonder if you ever guessed the weight I carried on my chest. You were the light I let pass by, a question I won't get to try. Now I just live with who I was, the one who never dared because. I wonder if you ever guessed the weight I carried on my chest. You were the light I let pass by, a question I won't get to try. Fingers twitched like words were pressing to escape, but something held us in still, a fragile bond we couldn't shake. You smiled too fast, I looked away. We drank our coffee, played pretend, but in the space where talk should bloom, we held a silence without end. We said so much with just a glance, then changed the subject in advance. The pause between our words was loud, a silent place we weren't allowed. We never dared to cross that line, afraid we'd break what wasn't mine. So we between what almost were. The world went on, we stayed the same. Two hearts that hid behind the glass. You found someone, I clapped and cheered, while hiding what I let slip past. You called me late one rainy night. I almost said what burned inside, but laughter came and took its place and left the ache I couldn't hide. We danced on edges sharp and thin, then backed away and tucked it in. The pause between our words was wild, a truth too raw for either side. I'll watch the moments fade like mist, 1,000 chances I had missed. Now silence wraps us like a blur. but love we didn't dare to feel. In every pause, a piece of me still waits for what will never be. Me close with practiced grace, but never truly shared your face. You said the words but not the truth, and covered pain with distant youth. I waited for the day you'd fall into a love that held us all, but you were busy building schemes while I was lost in tender dreams. Your silence told me all too well, a different story you would sell. You lived a lie beside my name, and played our love like it's a game. The trust I gave you didn't keep. You left me wounded in my sleep. You whispered hopes with hollow eyes while planning your escaping lies. I stood by faith, you stood by doubt, and mapped a life that cut me out. Each laugh you faked, each word you bent was just another good intent, but truth was never part of you. You wore a mask and called it true. You kissed me just to buy more time, while keeping up a second climb. You lived a lie beside my skin, and let betrayal settle in. The dream I had you didn't share. You tore it down without a care. What breaks a heart is not the end. It's watching love become pretend. You stayed until it served your pride, then left with nothing left inside. Just kids without a map, living on instinct, no looking back. Every road led to the next breath, never once afraid of death. We laughed like time was make-believe, too young to know what it would leave. Now I replay what slipped so near, that summer when we disappeared. Though the sky was burning gold, it faded fast and left me cold. That summer we disappeared, without a trace, without a fear. Now it plays like a dream too clear. That summer we disappeared. You held my hand like it was truth. The world was mad disappeared. You never said goodbye, just left. Took the light and all the rest. That summer we disappeared. Where love was loud and doubt was fear. I still whisper to what I breathe here. That summer we disappeared. Silence like a flame, still haunted by your vanished name. It burns in places I once cheered. That summer we disappeared. The silence like a flame, still haunted by your vanished name. It burns in places I once cheered. That summer we disappeared. The light, I stare at doors that never move and wonder what I'm meant to prove. The couch forgets I sit so still. The silence bends against my will. I leave the curtains halfway drawn, still hoping someone sees I'm gone. The hallway hears my every breath, but speaks in silence back to death. I live where no one knows, where time forgets the clocks. I'm lost in empty forever with a smile, but meant for only half a mile. You played the part so soft, so sweet, but pulled away with quiet feet. I should have known by how you stared, like you were gone but just still there. You kissed me like it was a game, and now I flinch at hearing names. You spoke of love with practiced grace, but never really took your place. You meant the words, but not the vow. And look at where we ended now. You gave just enough to stay near, then vanished when the truth drew near. I trusted all your good intent, but love can hurt when it's just lent. You left your coat, but not your heart, a shadow where there was no start. You never tried, you just appeared, and made me think the end was cleared. You smiled then disappeared again, and left me clutching phantom pain. Now all your echoes feel like lies, a love that lived behind disguise. I held on tight, ignored the signs, but every truth has shifting lines. You said you cared, you said you tried, but left without a single guide. I walked alone through what we built, and stood there buried in your guilt. You spoke of dreams and where they went, but now I know you never meant. A broken vow, a borrowed face. I chased a ghost I can't replace, and in your words I lost my name, a victim of your silent game. Your eyes away again, each silence carving deeper pain. You held your tongue, I bit my pride, afraid of what we'd find inside. The days grew long, the nights grew thin, we buried truth beneath the skin. Though we touched, we felt alone, two hearts that never found a home. You held the weight you couldn't say, and I let love just drift away. We broke apart without a sound, too scared to turn and face chest, but told myself you'd need some rest. You smiled with corners pulled too tight, and I convinced myself it's right. We danced around the things we knew, avoided all we should have viewed. And now you're gone without a trace, but not before you left your place. I wonder if you felt it too, the ache of what we didn't do. We broke apart behind our eyes, where hurt was dressed in soft disguise. We left so much we never faced, and filled the void we never braced. Some ending star